Covina massacre. The Covina massacre occurred on December 24, 2008, in Covina, a city in the suburbs of Los Angeles, California, United States. 9 people were killed from either gunshot wounds or an arson fire inside a house on 1129 East Knollcrest Drive where a Christmas Eve party was being held. The perpetrator, 45-year-old Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, who entered the house while wearing a Santa suit, committed suicide, dying from a gunshot wound to the head at his brother's residence in the early morning hours after the attack. Authorities have cited marital problems as a possible motive for the violence. Reports indicate Pardo's divorce had been finalized December 18, 1 week prior to the massacre. 3 people, including Pardo's ex-wife and his former in-laws, were initially declared missing pending identification of their bodies. At approximately 11:30 p.m. PST, Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, dressed in a Santa Claus suit, knocked on the door of his former in-law's house, occupied with about 25 people, with a gift-wrapped package, containing a homemade flamethrower, in one hand and a 9mm semi-automatic handgun in the other hand. He also had 3 additional 9mm semi-automatic handguns in his possession. When the door opened, Pardo fired the handgun at the 8-year-old daughter of Letitia Yusufpolsky, a sister of Sylvia Pardo, as she ran to greet him, injuring her in the face. He then fired indiscriminately at fleeing partygoers. Police speculate that Pardo may have stood over and pointedly executed some of the victims, using the other handguns. After the shootings, Pardo unwrapped the package containing the homemade flamethrower, and used it to spray racing fuel gasoline to set the home ablaze. People died from either gunfire or flames, and 3 others were wounded: the 8-year-old girl who was shot in the face with severe but non-life-threatening injuries, a 16-year-old girl shot and wounded in the back, and a 20-year-old woman who suffered a broken ankle jumping out of the second-floor window. The resulting fire soared approximately 40 to 50 feet and took 80 firefighters an hour and a half to extinguish. Due to the intensity of the fire, identification of the victims were done with dental and medical records. After the attack, Pardo put on his street clothes and drove his Dodge Caliber rental car to his brother's house in Sylmar, approximately 30 miles away from the crime scene, where he was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It was initially believed that Pardo intended to flee to Canada by plane as he had bought an airline ticket to a flight on Air Canada. However, subsequently it was discovered the flight was from Los Angeles to Moline, Illinois, with a layover in Minnesota. Pardo had called days before to tell his high school friend that he was planning to visit, but investigators are unsure if he intended to visit or if the flight was to fool investigators. He had visited the friend before in October 2008. Other reports stated that the Santa suit had melted during the flamethrower portion of the attack and had adhered to his skin and not all of it could be removed. However, due to suffering from severe third-degree burns on his arms stemming from the blaze, he decided to go against the initial plan. Police found $17,000 in cash cling-wrapped on his legs inside a girdle, and his rental car that had been parked 1 block from his brother's house, which had been rigged by remnants of his Santa suit that would ignite a flame and detonate the car with black powder if removed. Also recovered from the scene were 4 13-round capacity handguns that were each empty, and at least 200 rounds of ammunition. Suggesting that what had been inside the car was being treated as a threat, a bomb squad fired an incendiary device into it, burning and destroying it. At Pardo's house in Montrose, police had recovered 5 empty boxes for semi-automatic handguns, 2 shotguns, and a container for high-octane fuel tank gasoline. They also found what was described as a virtual bomb factory in his home. Police speculate that the motive of the attack was related to marital problems. Pardo's wife of 1 year had settled for divorce in the prior week. However, Pardo held no criminal record and had no history of violence. He had been fired from his job as an electrical engineer at ITT Electronic Systems, Radar Systems in July. There is some speculation that the divorce may have been caused by Pardo concealing a child from a previous relationship. This child was severely injured in a swimming pool accident several years previous. The couple wed on January 2006, but soon grew apart after their marriage, when Mr. Pardo refused to open a joint account with Mrs. Pardo, he also expected his wife to take care of her own 3 children with her own finances. In June 2008, divorce court had ordered Bruce Pardo to pay $1,785 a month in spousal support. During the divorce proceeding, Bruce had confided to a friend his wife was taking him to the cleaners. In July, Mr. Pardo was fired for billing false hours and the court suspended the support payments due to job hardship. Pardo was required to pay Sylvia $10,000 as part of the divorce settlement, according to court documents. Sylvia kept the wedding ring and the family dog. In a court declaration, Pardo complained that Sylvia was living with her parents, not paying rent, and had spent lavishly on a luxury car, gambling trips to Las Vegas, meals at fine restaurants, massages, and golf lessons. Boombox Poets recorded a song in 2010 called Santa Syndrome, which is loosely based on references to the massacre and also to their own lives. In the 2012 film Silent Night, a character tells the story of a man who donned a Santa suit, and used a homemade flamethrower to attack a Christmas party being attended by his ex-wife. Was Christmas too much for this man? Stay paranoid, my friends.